everyone? I'm Jason, and thanks for checking out UFO Chaser. This is Apophis, or Apophis 99942 to be exact, a very large asteroid categorized as an NEA, or near-Earth asteroid. Now before we go any further into asteroids, specifically Apophis, one thing that caught my attention right away is that when the asteroid Apophis was first discovered on June 19, 2004, it was soon after given its name Apophis, after the ancient Egyptian god of chaos, darkness, and destruction, which I found interesting yet scary and a bit strange why the name Apophis was the chosen name for this massive asteroid which comes very close to impacting the Earth, and here's why. Let's take a closer look at who Apophis, the Egyptian god of chaos and destruction, is.
In every good mythological story, there is always a villain, an entity that threatens chaos and destruction, the inevitable end of everything we know. When we take a look at Egyptian mythology, that evil takes the form of Apophis, or Apep, the god of chaos, darkness and destruction. He was known by several names, including Apep, Apophis, and the Greek translation of Apophis. In some of the earlier stories, Apophis was once the god of the sun. He was later pushed aside by Ra, the god that we've all come to associate with the sun today. Having been somewhat dethroned by Ra, Apophis harboured a great deal of resentment towards the god, and he vowed to make it as difficult as possible for Ra to succeed in his task of bringing the dawn every day. In some depictions, Apophis was born from darkness and chaos, making him the mortal enemy of light and fueling his desire to overthrow the balance of all things.
Okay, so why the hell did they name this very large asteroid after an evil Egyptian god of chaos and destruction that wants nothing but to destroy and plunge everything into darkness? Maybe it's because it will impact the Earth, and they are already not only preparing for this, but also trying to figure out ways to stop it and knock it off its trajectory to prevent a collision with Earth. It's a possibility, and this could all be going down on April 13th, 2029, which oddly enough happens to be Friday the 13th. So let's continue on with why I believe there might be more to this asteroid than what's being told.
There are millions of asteroids floating in our solar system. Every year, thousands of meteorites weighing about a pound fall on Earth. Usually we don't see them because they land in uninhabited forests or the ocean. However, in 2004, scientists discovered a really dangerous asteroid in space, weighing more than 20 million tons. The first observations show it has a 2.7 chance of hitting us in 2029. If an asteroid this big hit the Earth, it would cause major devastation over the area it impacted. But what is the real chance of it hitting us? And what can we do to prevent big asteroids from hitting our planet in the future? Apophis was first discovered on June 19, 2004 by astronomers in Tucson, Arizona. The asteroid measures about 1,100 feet across, about the size of 3.5 American football fields. It raised alarms because initial calculations had shown there was a good possibility it could smack into the Earth April 13, 2029. Since its discovery, optical and radar telescopes have been tracking Apophis as it orbits the Sun, and scientists are mostly confident they know where it's headed. Current calculations show it will come really close to the Earth at around 19,800 miles from our planet's surface in 2029. That's close enough to come between the Earth and the Moon, which floats around us at about 238,855 miles away. The path the big asteroid is taking is within the distance of some satellites, and that sounds too close. But what if something affected the orbit path of Apophis, which is very possible, and this asteroid smashed into our planet? It's a well-known fact that an asteroid impact is one of the things that can cause global mass extinction, especially if this asteroid is large enough. Physicists like the late great Dr. Stephen Hawking said that an asteroid collision is the biggest threat to all life on the planet. If an asteroid like Apophis was to hit the Earth, the impact would unleash a blast equivalent to over 1 billion tons of TNT. In comparison, the recent explosion in Lebanon, Beirut, of approximately 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate caused an explosion equivalent to 1 kiloton of TNT and took the lives of over 200 people. Thus, an asteroid impact by Apophis directly over a populated area would not only result in the deaths of millions of people, but would also have a terrifying and lasting impact on the ecosystem of our planet. There is still a small probability that Apophis has a chance of impacting Earth. In its close encounter with Earth, Apophis would pass through a gravitational keyhole, a small region no more than about a half a mile, 0.8 kilometers in diameter, that could set up a future impact exactly 7 years later in 2036. But the chances of that are said to be less than 1 in 100,000.
Okay, so just to point out a few key notes, the asteroid Apophis is currently drifting away from the Earth at a speed of 1.612 miles per second, or 5,803.2 miles per hour. At a distance of around 23.5 million miles away, it is currently out of sight, out of mind from the Earth. You should also keep in mind that these are approximate calculations based on observations, meaning these are not truly accurate numbers. As mentioned, it's thought that Apophis is around 1,100 feet in diameter, and it will pass by the Earth in 2029 at a distance of around 19,000 miles from Earth, which is closer than some satellites in space. I will tell you why I'm worried about this particular asteroid coming up.
In space, distance is relative. On Earth, 19,000 miles is a really long way. That's about 3/4 of the planet's circumference. But once you start measuring distances in space, 19,000 miles is nothing. That's why many scientists are keeping a close eye on the asteroid Apophis, which in 10 years will pass just 19,000 miles from Earth, basically skimming the surface in cosmological terms. To put in perspective just how close Apophis will be, consider the fact that the asteroid will pass between weather satellites and the Earth. Apophis, named after the Egyptian god of chaos, is classified as a potentially hazardous asteroid. An asteroid is given this designation if it meets a certain size and proximity to Earth threshold, and Apophis definitely checks both boxes. The God of Chaos asteroid is a whopping 340 meters across, making it one of the largest specimens to pass so close to Earth. To put 340 meters in perspective, that's 13% taller than the Eiffel Tower. NASA workers are excited to use this close flyby to learn more about asteroids like Apophis and potentially develop a plan to prevent collisions in the future. One NASA scientist says, the Apophis close approach in 2029 will be an incredible opportunity for science. But not only the world's space agencies will benefit from our cosmic visitor. Average people will also be able to spot the asteroid zipping across the sky in 2029. It's expected to shine about as brightly as the surrounding stars, and will cover the distance of the moon in the sky in about 60 seconds. Those in Australia will be able to see it first as it arrives in the night sky over the southern hemisphere, traveling across Australia from east to west. It should continue to rocket along its trajectory, picking up speed as it goes, before becoming visible to the United States in the evening. This will be the asteroid's point of closest approach, as it blasts over the Atlantic Ocean. At its estimated speed, Apophis should cross the ocean in a single hour and continue off into space. The Earth is no stranger to asteroid impacts. The planet has been pummeled by some serious behemoths over its long, tumultuous life. Thankfully, Apophis isn't nearly as large as, say, the monster that left the Chicxulub crater in the Yucatan Peninsula and likely caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. That particular impactor is estimated to have been anywhere between 11 and 81 kilometers in diameter. That's a staggering 32 to 238 times larger than Apophis. That's not to say an Apophis impact wouldn't be bad. In fact, it would be devastating wherever it hit. Scientists say there's only a 1 in 100,000 chance of Apophis colliding with the Earth. But that's still 23 times more likely than being struck by lightning. When Apophis makes its 2029 close approach to Earth, the planet's gravity will change its trajectory. Let's hope Apophis doesn't come back with a vengeance in the future.
Here's why I'm worried about the asteroid Apophis. Number 1, it is named after an Egyptian god of chaos, destruction, and darkness, which is exactly what it would do if it was to hit the Earth. Number 2, scientists and astronomers have taken extreme measures focusing on and studying this asteroid a lot, more since its last approach to Earth on January 5th and 6th of 2013, which led to this discovery of an effect called the Yarkovsky acceleration in 2015, where the sun can heat an asteroid unevenly, causing it to radiate away heat energy asymmetrically, resulting in a tiny push in a certain direction, which can change its path and speed through space. This is exactly why these are approximate calculations, and why scientists are constantly recalculating the odds of an Earth impact. We will take a closer look at the last reason why I'm concerned about the asteroid Apophis coming up next.
The key to surviving is knowing it's coming. And since February 2017, our chances have improved dramatically because NASA, in conjunction with the University of Hawaii, have developed the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. When an asteroid is spotted, its trajectory is plotted, and if it's on a collision course with Earth, we will receive 24 hours warning before it hits, which should be enough time to prepare for and survive the impending impact. If you can get a few hundred kilometers from the strike, you should survive. However, if you live in a city, evacuation might be more tricky. Below ground, you'd be better protected from the flash and the shockwave that follows than you would be in a car stuck in a traffic jam. After the blast, it is likely the city would burn for many days.
Alright, so reason to be worried about this asteroid number 3. NASA, in 2017, has a system that detects and gives 24 hours warning to a threatening asteroid impact. In my opinion, this just proves that they really don't know if a near-Earth asteroid is going to hit the Earth until it's actually here. I truly don't believe 24 hours is enough warning time to prepare for safety. People would panic that entire time, and it would be too late by the time the impact would occur. Also, in a combined effort with the European Space Agency and NASA, there are actually plans to send a spacecraft into space to collide with an asteroid's moon to study the effects and to see if we can actually deflect a potentially hazard asteroid away from us. This asteroid, called Didymos 65803, and its targeted moon Didymoon, will be studied by a European spacecraft called AIM. When launched in December 2020, it will orbit and study their composition. Then NASA spacecraft called DART plans to impact the asteroid's moon in October 2022 during a close approach to Earth. NASA plans on doing this with a sophisticated onboard guidance system that they call Draco. So what if, when they slam into an asteroid, it actually causes it to redirect the wrong way and sends it directly towards the Earth? Especially when they do this, it will be at its closest distance to the Earth. I find it alarming that in just the past few years, they have stepped up their game when it comes to asteroids impacting the Earth and how to stop it, if and when it were to happen. This is why I think they are worried, I am worried, and you should worry about this massive God of Chaos asteroid called Apophis.